Hey y'all, welcome back to Memaw's house where you know you're always welcome. Today we're making seafood lasagna, my style. Of course, as always, we'll start looking at our ingredients, and I will list the recipe down in the description box. It's a couple of phases to this particular recipe. We'll actually start with preparing our seafood mixture. I have 2 small lobster tails that I'm going to shell and clean. Me and this lobster tail were having a power struggle, but you know who's going to win. Me. So once we get both of the lobster tails shelled and cleaned, I will then chop it up into bite-sized pieces. I'm rinsing and cleaning all of my seafood off camera, so rest assured it is being cleaned. Now it's time to cook the seafood. I'm going to start with a heavy bottom skillet and about 2 tablespoons of oil, which I will heat on a medium-high heat. To my oil, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter for flavor, because you know butter and seafood always goes well together. Now I'll add my seafood 1 bowl at a time, but they'll all get cooked together. Now I'm chopping some green onions to use to flavor our seafood, and then I'll add the seasonings. Once I get my onions in, I'll start with my seasonings. I will add Old Bay, smoked paprika, and garlic salt. And I'm using all of those to taste, which is about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half, maybe 2 teaspoons each. Now I've cooked the seafood about 3 minutes. It doesn't take long for it to get done, and I don't want it to get done all the way because it's going to cook more once it gets in the lasagna pan and in the oven. So I don't want it to be like rubber, so I cook them about 2 minutes less than what I normally would cook them. But I could sit down with a spoon and eat that bowl of seafood just by itself. Now I'm going to add some more oil to the pan because I'm going to make my bechamel sauce. I'm also going to add 4 tablespoons of butter. And I will actually add 6 tablespoons of flour to begin my bechamel sauce. You see those spices in the bottom of that pan? It's kind of caramelizing now. And all of that luscious goodness is going to be in my bechamel sauce. Now I've incorporated my flour, and I want to make sure that I cook the flour so that that flour taste will not be in my bechamel sauce. Now to my roux, I'm going to add heavy whipping cream. I've added a cup of heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to stir to make sure that my sauce is smooth. As the sauce thickens, I'll add more whipping cream as needed to thin the sauce to the consistency that I want. Now I'm going to add just a little bit more seasoning to the sauce, taste my sauce, and move on to the cheese mixture. My cheese mixture consists of ricotta cheese and Parmesan cheese. I will also add mozzarella cheese a little later on. The seasoning for the cheese mixture is garlic salt. Now I'm going to mix these cheeses well and set them aside. Now my sous chef Ari has shredded up some mozzarella cheese for me. I didn't feel like pulling out the food processor, so she just got a grater and got to grating my cheese, and we just added the mozzarella cheese. Now it's time to prep our pans. I'm going to make a big one and a little one, and I'm going to spray both of my glass dishes with a canola oil spray. Now it's time to layer my lasagna. Now I'm adding my crab to my seafood mixture, the mixture that I cooked. The crab was already cooked because it was canned, but now I'm adding it in so that I can layer it with the rest of my lasagna ingredients. Before I put down my seafood, I layered in 3 sheets of Barilla oven-ready lasagna. Now it's time to add in my cheese mixture. Now I'll just continue to add my layers, and I'll be quiet so that you can enjoy the layering process. Now look at the beauty of that sauce. I'm slowing it down so you can enjoy it as much as I did. I've added the shredded mozzarella cheese. Now I'm adding shredded Parmesan cheese for final finishing touches. Now I'll cover it with aluminum foil and put it in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes or until the sauce is bubbling and delicious. Now that it is bubbling, I'm going to take the aluminum foil off, put it on the highest rack and let it brown. And here's the end product. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please keep watching, subscribe, and commenting. Try the recipe. Y'all be blessed.